Hey there, I hope you're doing well. To create a competency framework, you basically have two options. You can either build it manually in Excel or Google Sheets, or you can use a dedicated tool that will speed things up and keep everything structured. In this video, we'll go with the second option, but we'll stick to a tool that offers a free plan so you can follow along without spending any money. Let me show you how to do it. I log it into my account. Alright, and on the left side, let's click matrices and create new one from top right corner. Create new matrix, matrix name, alright, click edit. And now I have two options. I can start from scratch or use a built-in template. This time I will start from scratch so you clearly understand how everything works. Alright, now you can see categories and levels. You can add more levels, you can add more categories, you can edit the content inside. What we are building here is not just a typical skills matrix. A traditional skills matrix usually has skills on the left or on the top, people's name on the other side, and you simply rate them, like here. Or there's plenty actually examples of skills matrix, just employee's name and some skills on the top. It's basically a dump of skills assigned to individuals. Useful, kind of. Strategic, not really. What we are building here is something different. This is a competency framework. If you look at the structure, on the left side, we'll define competency categories and parent categories. Let's say that the first one will be technical skills, and we can call it domain and I don't know, execution skills. And at the moment we'll update the expectations or requirements here, but let's below update the content, like maybe soft skills, and we can call it collaboration and maybe communication. Let's put it together, but you can of course split it out. All right, and names of the on the top, like some levels. We can call it first one foundation level, second one maybe, I don't know, independent contributor. Let me actually copy this. At the moment I will add more levels and categories, but you see the point. Inside each cell, we don't just list skills, we describe clear expectations. So instead of saying good communication skills, we defined what communication actually looks at each level. At foundational level, someone communicates clearly and executes tasks with guidance. At a more advanced level, they facilitate discussions, maybe resolve conflicts, support others. They maybe, I don't know, influence stakeholders, align teams around shared goals, and define standards, company standards. And this is not just about what someone knows, it's about how they operate, think, and impact to others. So instead of evaluating people against a random list of skills, you create a structured growth model. Alright, I have finished the competency framework, so let me quickly walk you through it. And at the top you can see the progression levels, seniority levels, foundation, dependent, advanced contributor, expert, lead. And on the left side, we have competency categories like domain and execution skills, collaboration and communication, ownership, impact, or certifications. Those categories can be divided by department if you want to keep everything in one matrix. For example, you could have sections for engineering, product, design, marketing, and so on. But you can also create separate matrices for each department. It really depends on the size of your organization and how detailed you want to be. This particular matrix is quite general on purpose. I don't know what industry you are in, so I just wanted to show you the structure and logic behind it. For example, here you might see a version adapted for engineering teams with categories like front-end development, back-end development, DevOps, infrastructure, communication, leadership, mentorship, and so on. And here you could have a completely different version tailored for healthcare. Let me create it from the built-in templates with some patient care, clinical expertise, communication, teamwork, like so. The structure stays the same. What changes is the content. That's the beauty of a competency framework. It's flexible enough to adapt to any industry, but structured enough to give you clarity and consistency. Once it's done, you can share it with your team. Just remember that a competency framework is not a one-time exercise. Keep it updated as your organization evolves. You can even add a requirement in the engagement category that encourages people to contribute to the company, for example, by suggesting improvements to the process or to the framework itself. When the team helps shape it, they are more likely to take the ownership of it. About evaluation, if you were doing this in Excel, you would probably need to go through the entire matrix during, for example, one-on-one meeting. You would discuss each area, ask how the person feels about their level, maybe challenge some assumptions, and then write the outcome somewhere in your own notes or in another sheet, another application. And that works when you are the only manager. But the real issue starts when you have several managers involved. Everyone runs evaluation slightly differently. People interpret levels in their own way, ask different follow-up questions, and apply different standards. Over time, the framework becomes inconsistent and hard to compare across the company or across the teams. About the rating model, let's create team member. John Doe. There are some optional fields, but why not? Let's senior. The assignment manager will be me, and click save. Now let's click evaluate. Find our competency framework. About the rating model, I never use a simple 1 to 5 scale. For me, a 3 might mean something totally different than for another manager. Numeric scales often create false precision while still being highly subjective. Instead, I prefer evaluating progress against defined expectations. So when we move to the evaluation section, you can see that we are not choosing random numbers. We assess whether a competency is still at early stage, advanced progress, or just is done. This makes the process more transparent, more consistent, and much more fair for everyone involved. Let's, for example, add some comment for the next meeting, some action point. We can add some notes from this meeting or choose the type of the meeting. This is why I recommend using a dedicated tool. It allows you to run structured evaluations. You can easily edit expectations, track changes over time, access data and evaluation history, keep notes in one place, instead of relying on memory. Everything is documented and transparent, just making managers' life easier. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will do my best to respond to everyone.